Jyotsna Srikanth, an accomplished violinist and composer, proudly returns to her alma mater VVSSPHS as the first guest on the school podcast Golden Voices.
Namaste everyone. Welcome to Sardar Patel High School podcast. We are your hosts for the day, Sampada and she's Mahati. And today we're super excited to be joined by a talented alumna and a classical Indian violinist, Srimati Dr. Jyotsna Srikanth. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you.
So we're thrilled to share that we have a special connection with Jyotsna ma'am, having studied in the same school. And today we're going to dive right into a world of music and how her experiences have been. So Jyotsna ma'am, how do you feel coming back to school after so many years?
Very emotional and very excited, and all the old memories are being triggered. I treasure this place. I was here for from KG2 to until 10th standard. So you can see the deep connection with the school.
Yes.
I'd like to ask you how our school has supported you and nurtured your interests.
Great work the school has done. Vidyavartaka school is known to promote our art and culture. It's not just the academics. And I remember KG1, I was in some other school, and when my mother approached, this was a dream school for everyone, and to get into VVS was a big task. So when she approached the school admin, they said everything is full. Okay, anyhow, you get her mass start from KG1, and I don't know what mass start for KG1, if I do I say. So we will see, and we will also give her a test. So KG1 exam, and then exam over, and then my mother went to collect the reports on the reporter. They said, your daughter has failed. So KG1 failed, KG1 failed. It's just ABCDs 1 to 3. Now she has not written anything. We asked her to write A to Z. She has written A, number 2 and Z. So she's failed. So from that, no, she knows. Then can you give a test? No, how can that be? We have to be impartial. So many things happened, and finally they gave me a retest, and then I scored full. And then with that, she came to Vidyavardhaka, and finally I cleared the test and I got into KG2. The reason she was so particular was the culture. See, academics, yes, it's very important, but only academics doesn't contribute to the growth of a child. So we used to participate in everything, group class, group dance, group songs, and then I used to sing and play the violin like you. So they used to send me to all competitions, and each competition was like an exam. So all that was so important, and then I used to compose also for a group. All that, those experiences are invaluable. Now looking back, you can say, no, you are at some big position. What happened? But those small things add up like drops become an ocean, and that gives you so much of morale to further enhance your career.
Yes, ma'am. Totally. And what would, who was your favorite teacher, ma'am? If there was any favorite teacher. We're just curious to know.
There were so many favorites here. E.B. Ramanathan sir, principal.
Okay, yes, ma'am. And this is one important question that we wanted to ask you. All of us here, try to balance between academics as well as extracurriculars, and most of us struggle really badly. And what would be your advice to such students who want to balance and excel in both?
You see, we were in a generation, we were very lucky there were no mobile phones. Okay, so for us, we used to play on the screens, not indoor or mobile, no screen. So we were blessed, actually, our generation was a blessed generation. So we used to have a lot of time. I used to go in a timetable approach. And one wonderful thing with VVS was from 12 to 5:30 was the school time. It might sound odd for these days, but it's very convenient if you see. So morning you study, then you go to music class, practice music, do everything, and then come back by 5:30, then play until 7. See, that concept is not there. And we don't have mobiles. So music practice used to happen in the morning and evening studies. That balance was so good. So now you ask me to advise. I would say, I can't say cut down on mobile phone because my daughter's homework also comes on WhatsApp. So social media is very important now. Have a limit. If you keep looking at reels, it's so addictive, right? Even for adults, for us, no, some violin thing will keep coming, you feel like saying. So you must control your mind, put a full stop to what you do. Enough is enough. 15 minutes reels, enough. 15 minutes speaking to your friends, chatting, enough. Then do your other extracurricular. So if you see the amount of time you save, not one instrument, you can say you can practice 5 instruments.
Yes, ma'am. And many people say that there's generally one true path that you have to follow, or you can't just experiment with everything. But you've clearly proved that wrong. You're a pathologist as well as a very famous violinist. And what do you have to say to that?
I've been very adventurous, and by the time I joined MBBS before that, let me tell you a small story. And I started learning vocal music from my mother since the age of 3. And then at 5 years old, when I was 5 years old, my mother took me to a concert of Kunakudi Vaidyanathan. It was a legendary violinist. So I got impressed by this violin. So I came back home to 2 broomsticks and started imitating violin playing. So looking at my madness, my mother thought, okay, I think she has to be taught violin. And right next to Vidyavata School, here, next road only, there used to be Mrs. Padma Gopalan, who is the daughter of R.R. Keshavamurthy. So I joined classes there, and I used to go to music class at 10:30 and come here to school at 12. And that was 3 days in a week. And other 3 days I used to come with my dear friend Vimala, who is here. She used to come home, and I used to be late. She used to make me ready, and she used to get me to school. Such good memories. So that happened, and then at the age of 9 I gave my first performance. That performance is also memorable in this Rajajinagar Raman. I was supposed to perform 45 minutes before Kunakudi Vaidyanathan's concert.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I prepared properly, everything, and then they said Kunakudi Vaidyanathan is stuck between Chennai and Bangalore, some incident. He's going to come late, you play. I played. Then 1 hour over. Then I exhausted all my stock. I said, I'm over. So they said, okay, again you start playing the same thing. And he came at 9:30. So it was such a good experience for me. I same thing I paid thrice. Because what I did for the concert. So then he came, it was so nice. He sat there and he listened to some little bit of concert. And that concert went until 1 or 1:30. So this was a very nice memory, and from there, taking off. When I first played for Balamurali Krishna, I was 15 years old, and accompaniment is very important in Carnatic music before you become a soloist. That's what I feel. And then, fortunately or unfortunately, I got 7th rank in PUC, and I went and joined BMC, Bangalore Medical College, and I did do well, and I did get into PG, and I selected pathology so that it's a 9 to 5 job and I can do my concerts in the evening. And what I felt was, coming to how to balance, it's only about discipline. Time discipline is the only one that saves you. So yeah, you must have that control of mind, and then you do it. And meanwhile, I got exposed to different kinds of music. Like how I learned Carnatic classical music, I also learned Western classical music. You must have heard this Mozart, Beethoven. Yes. Like we have the trinities of Carnatic classical music: Tyagaraja, Shama Shastri, Muthuswami Dikshit. We have the trinities of Western classical music: Bach, Beethoven, and Mozart. And I felt violin is a European instrument, it traveled from the west to east, and then it got adapted to Indian classical music in early 19th century. Yeah. Balaswami Dikshitar, brother of Muthuswami Dikshitar, was the one who thought, okay, this is an instrument, see, it doesn't have any frets. Okay, so there is continuity when you play, and so when you play, it resembles very close to the voice. These were the accompaniments. So it took over. Like now there is no concept with the violin, be it Carnatic or light music or film music. There is no music in India without violin. Yes. It's become an integral part of Indian music. So I started learning Western classical music. Equally both. So that gave me then Irish, Balkan, okay, then so many things. I have been, nothing wrong exploring different traditions, and this is a Western instrument. First of all, we have explored it. Okay, your technique of playing becomes better. Yes. So I have always been coming to back to your question. I digressed a little bit because I had to give this history before. So I did venture, and then I feel in the present day one has to be versatile. Orthodox, I was top orthodox, okay. Until 15 years old, I had never even heard film music. Then I went to play for films. So, but once you have the grounding and the foundation, I think that's fine. So that gives you, the world is at your doorstep. So I started experimenting and collaborating. Recently I composed for the Azerbaijan Symphony Orchestra. I composed for the London Philharmonic Orchestra when Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji came to Wembley Stadium. I composed something called as Indian Spring. So that's blending Indian classical music with Western classical music. So I've been very adventurous, and I have collaborated with Swedish folk musicians, and that's called as Nordic Raga. Swedish music is different. They have all sorts of odd rhythms like 11, 13, 17, 15. See, normal rhythms are what? 4, 6, 8, 7 and 9. 9 also is very rare. But these people have 17, 13 and half. How do you count 13 and half? They have methods. So like that. So you get exposed to so many things. Then one more was this Bollywood brass band. Brass, this trumpet, trombones, yes, yeah. These huge loud instruments. Not really huge but loud. So how do I blend violin with that? I can't play pure Carnatic, but with Carnatic ragas I can do that. Then I started my own band called Bangalore Dreams, which is contemporary Indian music. So I used to play in these melas, like let me see. Before this, I have to say that I was in UK for 15 years. So when I went to UK, I found that Carnatic music had no representation at all. It was all the sitar and tabla. North Indian classical music was so popular. So I went to a place in Finland and they asked me if Carnatic music was tribal music. Then I thought, okay, this is not this going somewhere. So let me present Carnatic ragas in a more contemporary way, for which I formed this band called Bangalore Dreams, where I take ragas and make it very contemporary. It's there on YouTube. So that clicked very well. So I learned to tailor what I deliver it to audiences according to the audiences. If it's a strict or orthodox audiences, it will be in hardcore Carnatic. Otherwise, like London Meda, I can't go and do hardcore. So I started tailoring it. So that basically I wanted my music to reach different sets of people. This is what I designed. And coming to risk taking, I have been on and off from my medical profession, and one of the teachers of my son's school teacher in UK. So he is there when we were in UK. So he was a physics teacher. So my son said that he is taking he's resigning this. So we have a get together and a send off for the teacher and a parent teacher meeting. You have to come such and such a day. Okay, I went in and asked the teacher, how come, which school are you joining? So he said, I'm not joining any school, I'm starting a bakery. I said, what? He's a physics teacher, high school teacher, very respected. I said, what is this physics and bakery? How do they go together? So I said, baking was always my passion. So I took up physics, I did my master's there, and I have always been teaching. So there is one life, so I want to also explore my other passion. So I have invested what all I have earned and saved. I'm going to come up with a very different kind of baking. So that actually inspired me to jump from medicine to music. So, and that year also I got a very big break with BBC Proms in Royal Albert Hall, and then a lot of people came to manage me, and I got a lot of international opportunities. See, one is your caliber, another thing is opportunities coming your way. When opportunities come your way, you can't close your eyes and say that no, I'm going to do this. That's how I started venturing everywhere. Long story?
That's so interesting. One thing I wanted to ask you is both pathology and music, both of them are very strong and independent fields. So how is it for you to switch between the two? Because say for example, if you're exploring about music for a long time, it's very hard to get out of that zone and kind of switch back to pathology. So how did you balance between both of them, or how did you switch between
I think
them?
it's easy. Especially with life sciences, biological sciences, it's life, it's not bored, and I don't know, somehow I feel that there is a connection between ragas and human body. Similarly, your body, it's a life, no? So both have, your music has life, your body and studies have life. Some connection, I did not find that difficult. In fact, when I was doing my PG, MD, it was so much to study. Like you have example ENT means you only study ENT, ophthalm means only eyes. Pathology is disease from head to toe. I thought it's very easy, but like, oh my god, this is toughest. Like it was like that. And so the music was a big reliever and a healer. So it works out. I tried Veena. I thought it was too big and too boring. Sorry to say this.
I also used to play the
I should not be saying this, but what happens once you are used to an instrument with a smaller, shorter fingerboard, something big comes, no? That you don't have that mindset. You feel everything needs to go slow, but many fantastic players have proved it wrong. If you see Rajesh Vaidya playing, he plays the veena like the violin only.
Could you just elaborate on how your gurus, really shaped you into becoming this successful? And, can you share about the memories that you had with them?
I was very passionate. See, once you have passion for something, people need not push you. When there is no passion, then people need to push you. Practice, practice, practice. A little bit of push was there. I used to say like there was a bakery near my house. It's 4 o'clock properly. They used to make vegetable puffs. You know that. So that smell used to come. So that was a target. My mother used to say, you practice this much, that much, and you get a puff. So maybe some sort of attraction used to be there. But yeah, my guru Rakeshu Murthy was also a strict guru. He expected whatever was taught, you need to go and play. But then he was understanding, because with medicine sometimes it was not possible. It was, I think, I was passion driven.
Ma'am, it's so interesting that you've been collaborating and exploring the different genres of music. So, how is it collaborating with international musicians, and how is it performing with them? So, how was the whole experience?
Yeah, I've been going to lots of concerts since a very young girl, of collaborations, what you call as fusion music. To tell you frankly from my heart, I always felt that all of them were confusions and not fusions. It was like, you play, I play, you play, I play, then two of us, we come 2 minutes together, jam session. That is jam session. That's not a collaboration. If you have to collaborate, you have to go together. So even if I improvise, I should improvise for their chords, for which I should know their language. Okay, so since I know both systems, Western and Carnatic, for me to communicate with them in their language, which is the Western music notations, it became very easy for me. It's always that Carnatic music has such a strong foundation that we are the one who adjust to the other system, you know that. So, but that became even easier, me knowing their musical language. And now, example, I went to Azerbaijan 2 weeks back, and then I sent the notations, everything for them in advance. With 2 rehearsals, we were able to do it. So, knowing the 2 section systems is very important if you have to collaborate. Otherwise, it becomes a jam session.
Yeah, and how do you toggle between contemporary music and your classical music? And can you elaborate a little on your contemporary work?
Yeah, toggle, I don't know. See, I play hardcore Carnatic music. Last week I had a concert where I had to, the ragas were Mukhari, Begada, Pathana, Ananda Bhairavi, all this. All these. And then I played that. But when I think I have some sort of a switch or something in the brain, don't ask me how I do. And immediately you ask me to play a song, happily I do it. So maybe because I learned both together. So for me, I feel that it's a kind of mental block people have. So, okay, how do you switch between biology and history?
Can't be explained, honestly.
Same here. That is different, this is different. Do you mix biology in history?
No.
Do you write cells structure in history? No. Similarly, this is different, that is different. You do that, you do this. Simple.
Yes.
And then, what was the question? Remind me.
Elaborate on your contemporary work. What
I have a contemporary band, Bangalore Dreams. I also have, I used to call it as JSP, which is Jyotsna Srikanth project also. So Bangalore Dreams, I thought it brings a Bangalore name and you go and tour abroad. So that has all the contemporary stuff. I make it like a presentation, a mixture of Carnatic classical. Even Carnatic classical will be a little bit more contemporary type. And then light classical, film, and my own. I have done lots of original compositions. Like one of the compositions is called Hip Hop Violin. You should listen to that. But based on Kiramani Raga, okay. So something like that. So yeah, that clicked a lot. And then after the pandemic, I came up with a project called Shakti, where the entire pandemic story is depicted through music. Like how life was before COVID, and there was so much of uncertainty. How the pandemic progressed, and how did it end? It's depicted in 9 tracks. So yeah, like this, think out of the box and do
Ma'am,
it.
it's so beautiful to know that you've contributed so much in our field. So I wanted to ask you how you compose and what comes up in your mind when you compose and what's your zone while you compose.
There is no particular rule composing. You need to get inspired. For example, I have composed this Indian violin concerto, Raga seasons, which is 6 seasons of India. The West has 4 seasons and we have 6 seasons. So usually Vasanta is the raga for spring. So I wanted to break those conventions. I changed everything. For me, spring is something happy. So why not try Mohana Kalyani? So I have been experimenting like that. So I had to compose for snow, and North Indian raga Hemant depicts snow. So I wanted to compose, and sitting here in Rajajinagar, I did not get any inspiration because I'm in summer scorching heat, and how can I compose on so? Then I took almost 8 months to compose, and then I had a concert in Scotland in the winter. 5 minutes I composed.
Oh my god.
That you need to get inspired. Yeah, sometimes I'll be traveling. You get inspiration and you do. You bind me in a room and ask me to compose. I won't.
So it takes time, and
You need the right kind of inspiration.
Yes, ma'am, and I feel this is a very interesting question for me. So, do you think there's any connection between music and spirituality? And if
Of
that
course,
is what
see, our music evolved from Samaveda, from the Vedas, okay. And then the chakras of our body each one is related to a raga. There are enough proofs to that. If you see Samaveda, Karara Priya, they have used Karara Priya was the raga which they used to chant, and all this is there. And there used to be the raga started. If you see the history of evolution of ragas, so there used to be a single note, then 2 notes. So there is proof. So see, ragas can depict, as you said, seasons. It can depict moods, navarasas. There is a raga for anger, happiness, sadness. Even jealousy is one of the forms of emotions, right? So there are ragas for morning raga, evening raga, afternoon raga. See, definitely there is a connection between ragas and spirituality.
Ma'am, you just spoke about how you should have inspirations. All of us idolize people in our own field. So who did you idolize? Who were your inspirations?
Many inspirations, that's the problem. As I said, I got inspired to learn violin from Kolhapuri Rajanathan. Then I used to like M.S. Gopal Krishna last. I also used to like Mysore Nagaraj's violin. I've been listening from young. And then Melvi, I was a big fan of her.
So in India, all of us love sports, and we've just witnessed the Paris 2024 Olympics, and we were just so intrigued to know that you were also a part of that. So how was the whole experience performing at the Olympics?
I see, sports, I've never been a sporty person, okay. Olympics is a very big thing for me. Like I was in London, and then they said if I can perform there for a event for the reception, a reception for Indian athletes by the Olympic Committee, not the India House one. So that was yes, I immediately accepted, and London and Paris, 2.5 hours train. I went there, and that was a very memorable event, and I was able to attend a few events, and right in front of the Eiffel Tower, the stadium, and then got to meet Neeraj Chopra, all these stars. It was nice experience. So see, that's what music takes you to places.
Yes.
That's one example.
Yeah.
And again, I played something totally contemporary with sitarist Rishabh Sharma from New York.
We were watching the video and we were like, oh my god, this is so. And in the recent Dasara that you played, we also got to know that one of our friends witnessed it, and we thought it was a very sweet coincidence. How was it performing in front of all that bustling crowd and all of that? And
Yes, last I performed in Mysore Palace was some 15 years back. I accompanied Sudhara Gunathan, and then it was just beginning of my contemporary work. Since 2 years, the recent thing is, I have been developing my Bangalore string ensemble, because I felt, see, when I look at string players or students in the West, a girl taking up a cello or a double bass or a viola. Cello is that huge violin, like you hold it upside down. Bass, it's very common. In India, you don't see that. So I thought, let me put together something, and then see the next generation strings. Carnatic we have, next generation. But Western in India, not much, especially in girls. So started, during the pandemic, started developing. This Bangalore string ensemble has been always there, all professionals playing for movies. But it was never a standalone orchestra who can perform for concerts. So I put together something, and with help of some senior musicians of Bangalore String Ensemble, I streamed a concert for our London International Arts Festival. I'll come to that organization and my festival. So this ensemble started, and we started performing in corporate shows, weddings, and many festivals. Then I came up with compositions that will suit me, solo violin, with the orchestra. So this is what I presented in the palace. So it was everything, like as I said, mishmash of everything. And that day was 9th October, last week. There was A.R. Rahman show also at the Yuva Dasara, Maharaja Grounds. I thought no people would be there. And there were 2 lakhs people.
oh,
To my surprise, that day, it was a very successful concert, and everyone enjoyed thoroughly. It was, I presented 15 artists. It's there online. So again, I went out of the box to see you have to keep giving something new, right? So that is what I believe in. But of course, I do all my respects to orthodox musicians, because it's very difficult to be orthodox, if you see, with all the distractions around. So yes, this is how I work.
I read on the internet that you are an MBE, member of the Order of the British Empire, and you met King Charles III, to get felicitated. That was something really intriguing. And what do you have to say to that? What do you want to say about being felicitated?
That was like, for me, I was shocked. MBE is the third highest civilian award in UK. It's like Padma Shri here. I have never been behind awards. I know in here how much of lobbying goes on for awards, and for me, music is divine, and I'm not doing this stopping my medicine work. Music is for passion, but not for awards, for sure. So this came as a great thing, and in Windsor Castle, the award ceremony was there, and then I got to meet him and speak to him. And it's good, and good recognition for the work. And it's not just for me for being a musician. I've been doing lot of other works. It's given for a rounded all personality. Okay, if you see music, I have done a lot of cross-cultural collaborations, bringing communities together. And then we started Dhruv Arts in 2004 in London, in East London, when I felt that Carnatic music was very less represented. So we have our South Indian communities there, and Sri Lankan Tamils, who all my respects to them, because all the temples, there are some 80 temples in London, Sri Lankan Tamils are the ones who built them. So they propagate our culture a lot. So we started doing concerts, and 2012 was Olympics here in London. At that time, Government of England, Arts Council of England supported us, and we started London International Arts Festival. This I wanted, like, it should be a world music festival where our audiences, South Indian and Sri Lankans, they listen to world music, say some Mexican music, Serbian music, traditional music from different parts of the world, like how you have Indian. So that our people will listen, and the other communities, the white community, so many people are there, British whites, so they should listen to our Carnatic music. So it's vice versa. So I started programming Carnatic music in many mainstream venues of London, like the South Bank Centre, King's Place. These are all the top 5 venues of the world. Yeah. Our music needs to go there. And non-stop 12 hours of Carnatic music. So this started. So then we started giving scholarships. We went to orphanages. See, there are so many underprivileged children. They are so much talented, but they are not technically trained because they don't have the money. So we gave some scholarships. So I have been working like this all rounded, and so they recognized everything of it. And of course, for some big huge support from Srikanth Sharma, my husband, was being behind me, and my mother Jyotsna Srikanth. Without them, I can't do anything. Traveling. My kids are also very cooperative when I go out. So it's everything came together.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
I want to tell something.
Yes.
About some memories in school.
Yes, absolutely.
I remember that we used to go behind the school, and there was this long bush and stuff, and there used to be some berries in between intervals and things. There used to be an ayah at the gates. She used to not allow us to go. Some home we used to ditch her, and we used to go back and get all the berries there and eat. And then one more memory is Prabhu Sweets. It used to be there. Now they shifted other way. So Saturday was morning school. So Saturday I used to request my mother not to send any different dabba. So we used to go to this Prabhu Sweets and then think. Those are all very nice memories.
Samosa and chutney is very good.
See, she's updated with that.
So any one last advice you would like to give for aspiring musicians?
Everyone, musician, non-musician first. Do what you like. See, engineering, medicine. See, that's the problem with our Indian society. You either do only engineering or medicine. They are the only thing. No, now it's not like that. There are so many fields where you can flourish. Go with your passion. If you have passion, you are going to survive in any field.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
And then take to your passion, do it. And then our Indian universities are fantastic.
Absolutely.
No need to go out. Our Indian schools, for example, Vidya Vartaka is fantastic. So no need to go to this international kind of things. Yes, yeah. Whatever we have is great. Stick on to that. Don't get carried away by this marketing gimmicks of
Yes.
yeah. And aspiring musicians, yes, you decide if you want to do music or you want to toggle between two fields. That's also not bad. It is doable. Have a disciplined approach, but do play to have a lot of free time. Go to the streets, climb trees and play. That will give you a different perspective, like what we did.
Thank you, ma'am. And it was really great. And your passion for music totally shines through. One final request: can you play us something on your violin?
Carnatic? Yeah. This Carnatic. Film?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Which one is this?
And
Bombay.